Welcome to Assist College of Arts and Commerce. This is Assist Edupedia. Myself, Assistant Professor Sunil Shah. Today, I will be teaching you the subject called Business Law, and the topic which I will be covering up is Types of Negotiable Instrument Act, which is there in Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. This particular topic is in SYBCom SAM 3 as well as in FYBMS SAM 1. Students, as you are aware, in great olden days, the peoples used to do the business. They used to do the transaction while carrying huge amount of currency. So to prevent the possibilities of theft or forgery, there was a huge demand of having a suitable legal instrument which would be acceptable whole over India as well as with the international banks also. So the government of India in that particular era, they thought that to legalize some instrument and which was acceptable for all, so that the businessmen persons or those persons who are doing day-to-day business or transactions or the commercials or the ROF or the factories, they did not carry and huge cash or the currency. So there was a need of some instrument which would be legally valid. So in that particular era, the government of India had established an act called Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, and that in that particular era, the new methods of exchanging documents was in the market, and those exchanges which was acceptable were bill of exchange, promissory note, and the checks. And the law which is controlling or governing or regulating would be Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Many amendments are done in the Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, but I would be covering up the basics of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 in this particular video. What is negotiable instrument? The word negotiable means transferable. Transferable would be by delivery. The instrument means a written document by which the right creates in favor of some person. Suppose I had given some bill of exchange to some other person, he would be having the right to encash it, or he can pass it to some other person. Same way would be in the help of check. If I am issuing the check to some person, either I would be giving the right then he would be entitled to encash it, or he would be passing it to some other person if it is a bearer check. Same thing applies for promissory note also. So it creates a right in favor of some person. It literally means a written document. Please remember, it should be a written document. Proposing would be from one part, acceptance would be from other part. Then there would be proposal plus acceptance is equal to agreement. The amount involved in it would be the consideration. So agreement plus consideration is equal to contract. So insurance company, the fire insurance company, marine insurance company, or the life insurance company would be entering into the contract either with the firm or with the individuals. So the contract would be formed. So it literally means a written document. But if you see, last year when there was a pandemic, we has came into the conclusion that there are also digital contracts, which is also acceptable, which is creates it literally means a written document which creates a right in favor of somebody, and it is freely transferable by delivery. An I, that is negotiable instrument, is a piece of paper which entitles a person to a certain sum of money and which is transferable from one person to another person by delivery or by endorsement. The word endorsement means signing on the back of the instrument. The endorsement means he is the person who is having a legal right to endorse it or to sign it. Any other person cannot sign it. Merely possessing that particular document, he cannot sign it. Only if he has the legal authority, then only he can sign it, and that word would be called as endorsement. In some books, it is written as endorsement (in). In some book, it is endorsement, but the most appropriate word is endorsement (endorsement). And by delivery, it would be transferable. Negotiable instrument is a document guaranteeing by the Constitution of India the payment of a specific amount, whatever the amount is mentioned in the bank guarantee, or whether it is mentioned in a letter of credit, or if it is mentioned in bill of exchange or the promissory note or check, that amount is guaranteed, and the money can be paid either on demand or at a set time. Whatever the time is been set, at that time it would be paid with the payer named on the document. A negotiable instrument means a promissory note, bill of exchange, and check payable either to the order or to the bearer. But various amendments are done in the Negotiable Instrument Act, like digital payment, IMPS, that is a immediate payment service system, online payment, which is not covered up in this particular video, but there are many amendments which are the different modes of payment, which is also been classified according to Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. Today, I would be giving a basic knowledge of types of negotiable instrument, that is bill of exchange, promissory note, and the check. Few points would be covered up. What is the content of bill of exchange, the definitions, as well as the basic essential ingredients. What is bill of exchange? According to section 5 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881, a bill of exchange is an instrument in writing, it should be in writing, containing an unconditional order. So some conditions are which attach with the bill of exchange, then it wouldn't be called as bill of exchange. It would be not at all acceptable because some conditions are attached. So the definition says that it should be unconditional order signed by the maker. The person who makes that particular bill of exchange has to sign it, directing a certain person to pay a certain sum. So the maker will direct the person to be paid with certain sum of money only. It should not be like a barter system, some part of money or some part of some other goods. So 50-50% are not allowed. Only money is a valid legal document, has to be mentioned in bill of exchange or to the order. If he says with the order that particular amount has to be paid, then that particular order has to be mentioned, or a certain person or to the bearer of that particular instrument. This is a specimen, basic specimen of the bill of exchange. If you see in that bill of exchange, the first part, that is stamp. Stamp is not the normal stamp what we got it in post office. It is a stamp according to Indian Stamp Act 1899, as well as that particular bill of exchange should cover up the basic part related to the Stamp Act. He should cover up if it is a document, if the goods are worth of about around 1 lakh, then the stamp paper should be covering, and he should always affix a judicial non-judicial stamp paper, that particular thing, the document, or he should cover up with the court fee. So the two things has to be mentioned: the date of issue and the date of acceptance, the when it should be encashed, that is in this case it is 3 months, and the amount in words and amount in figures has to be mentioned in the bill of exchange. If you see in this particular format, we have something like this is the person, Mr. P had issued it to Mr. Q and Mr. Q has accepted it. The date was mentioned is 15 Jan 2019, in which the bill of exchange was prepared, and on 18th of Jan 2018 the bill was been accepted. The sign, date, and the address has been mentioned. Now we are covering up the ingredients. What are about the bill of exchange? The bill of exchange has three parties. The first one is drawer. Drawer is a maker of the bill of exchange. He is the person, he has to sign the bill of exchange. The creditor is entitled to receive the payment. The creditor is entitled to receive the payment from the debtor and can draw a bill of exchange. Coming to the next point, drawee. What do you mean by drawee? Drawee is the second party to the bill of exchange. Drawee is a person to whom the bill of exchange is drawn. Drawee is the debtor who has to pay the money to the drawer and is also known as acceptor. The third person under the parties to the bill of exchange is payee. The payee is the person to whom the payment has to be made. The payee is the person to whom the payment has to be made. The payee may be the drawer himself or a third party. In some cases, bankers are also there. The essential features, the essential elements of bill of exchange are as follows: it must be in writing. The order to pay must be unconditional. The sum of the sum payable, which is mentioned in the bill of exchange, must be certain. The bill must contain an order to pay money and money only. No barter systems, no barter way exchanging of goods is not acceptable. It must contain an order to pay. Something like request is not acceptable in the bill of exchange. It must be signed by the drawer, and the other format is like date in which the bill of exchange is issued, the day in which the bill of exchange is accepted, the consideration, the value of the bill of exchange has to be mentioned, and the stamp. According to Indian Stamp Act, the stamp paper should cover up that particular goods which is mentioned in that bill of exchange. Coming to the next essential type of negotiable instrument is promissory note. So Section 4 of Negotiable Instrument Act defines promissory note. Promissory note is an instrument, a document in writing, not being a bank note. So bank note and currency note are not an promissory note, containing an unconditional undertaking signed by the maker to pay a certain sum of money only, or to the order of a certain person, or to the bearer of the instrument. So different kinds of promissory notes are available in the market, which we can see in day-to-day activities or whatever you do the transactions. If you see the simplified format of promissory note, here there are only two parties, whereas in case of bill of exchange we have three parties. Here Mr. Q has committed to pay Mr. P a sum of rupees 1,50,000. Repayment has to be done in 50 equal instrument, and the interest rate, which is 10 pension 10% of that value, is been mentioned, and the date in which it's to be paid is also been mentioned. And there is an witness which is was also been present when this promissory note was been done. The date was once again 15 Jan, and when it is issued and when it is accepted has to be mentioned. If it is mentioned in the promissory note, it is okay. If you add it with the analog, that is also acceptable. And this promissory note can be done with the help of a notary public, and the notary public is an officer of government who registers whatever the documents are been done. So the person, when he issues a promissory note, he gives an affirmation in front of notary public. What do you mean by promissory note? A promissory note is a legal financial tool declared by the party promising another party to pay the debt on a particular date. If you see here on 15 Jan, it was been issued, and he says that you would be paying an equal installment on 1st of Feb 2019. So the promissory note, the content should be specific and clear. Nothing like double meaning or nothing should be mentioned in the promissory note. It is a written agreement signed by the drawer with the promise to pay a money on a specific date or whenever demanded. The third essential features of promissory note is that it is not a short-term credit tool, which is not related to any currency or to the bank note. As I already explained, in promissory note we have two parties, whereas in case of bill of exchange we have three parties like drawer, drawee, and payee. And in case of promissory note we have two parties, that is called drawer and payee. The parties to the promissory note are as follows. There are two parties: the maker, or which is also called as drawer, the person who makes the notes and promises to pay the amount stated therein is called as a drawer, and the payee is the person to whom the amount is payable. Once again, the essential features, it is more like bill of exchange with the parties. In case of promissory note is T two, and in case of bill of exchange are three parties. So coming to the essential features of promissory note, it must be in writing. It must contains a promise or undertaking to pay. The promise to pay must be unconditional. It must be signed by the maker. The maker must be a certain person. The payee must be also a certain person, and the sum payable must be also certain. Now, I'm explaining you about the check. There are many changes which we are done in the format of the check. In the era, in if you see last few decades or the last 5 years, the format of check has been changing. So what does the Negotiable Instrument Act Section 6 states that? Section 6 of Negotiable Instrument Act 1881 defines check. It refers to a negotiable instrument. Negotiable means transfer, instrument means a written document that contains an unconditional order. If you see all this definition, there is a one particular statement which is common: unconditional order. Order to the bank to pay a certain sum of money mentioned in the instrument. This was also a common statement in all the three particular types of negotiable instrument: from the drawer's account to the person to whom it is issued, or to the order of the specified person to the bearer. So in checks, as you learned in the last classes, there are different types of check. One is bearer check, and second is a cross check. So coming to the particular format of the check, you are aware, if you see in this particular code there is IFSC code which is mentioned, which may be 11 digit. The first four digits or first five digits would be the name of the bank, then there would be zero would be prefix, which is always for future use, and then there is a digits which has been given by the RBI. On the topmost part or on the lower left corner, the address of the bank has been mentioned. The check format is nearly about eight boxes are there. In the previous era we had a check in the form of slash. Here it is in box, that is DDMMYYYY, followed with the paying to whom, or the and to the order, and the amount in figures and amount in words has to be mentioned. If you see, we have something like a void pantograph, this particular point, whereas this particular box, in this the what you call the duplication of the check is avoided with the help of this particular void pantograph. Here the name of the account holder is been mentioned in the check. Previously the pre-printed name was not mentioned in the previous types of check, but in the current checks the account holder's name is been printed. Then there was a change that the symbol of rupees R has been removed with this particular symbol, which has been accepted all over India. Then we have something like the check number, which is normally 6-digit number, followed with MICR code, MICR, magnetic ink character recognition, which has been mentioned. That is this particular digits would be varying. Then there would be an RBI number, account number, which has been given by RBI to the bank, and then there is a transaction code here, whether we have saving account, current CC account, or we have something like as current account or a saving account, or we have some different types of account which has been approved by the banks. What are the who are the parties of the to the check? There should be drawer, drawee, and payee. So once again in check we have three parties: drawer, drawee, and payee. Drawer is a person who, or the entity whose transaction account is to be drawn. Usually drawer's name and the account is pre-printed on the check, and the drawer is usually a signatory. A drawee is a bank or other any financial institution where the check can be presented for the payment. This is usually pre-printed on the check, and the pay is the person or the entity who is to be paid the amount. So there are many changes which is done under the format of the check. The previous checks, if you see 10 years back, and the current checks, what you see in the current scenario, there is always different variation, different protections are being given to the check to avoid the fraud. If you see the new check, if you put it the check on the, if you hold the check in the front of the light source, you can see that the particular word called CTS, check truncation system, which has been approved, so that the duplicacy of the check would be avoided. So students, in this particular video I had explained you what you mean by negotiable instrument, what which are the different types of negotiable instrument, and the basic features of that particular instrument. More I would be informing you in my forthcoming videos. Thank you.